Welcome to the Cross Canada Spotlight. I'm Mike Arsenault. Every week we take a look at some of the most interesting and entertaining stories produced across the Global News Network. We begin this week in British Columbia, where a Second World War veteran was honored with a parade and a flyover on his 100th birthday.
That's for you to wear today. They want them back, though.
It's been a while since Jack Birch put on a bomber jacket and pilot's cap, but he had to look the part on his big day.
Do I have to do anything?
Just enjoy yourself.
A pipe band led the parade honoring the Second World War veteran on his 100th birthday.
I feel very proud to be accepting this honor on behalf of my comrades, especially the ones that are not here now.
And of course, a flyover for the former bomber pilot who flew 34 missions over Nazi-occupied Europe without even getting a scratch.
The life expectancy of a bomber pilot during World War II at the time was something like 5 or 6 missions.
Birch got his crew back safe every time, but there are memories of too many close calls caught in German spotlights and under heavy fire.
They were at me for about 5 minutes, and then the lights went out. It was my lucky day.
He got into the newspaper business when he returned to BC. For over 4 decades, he was the owner and publisher of the Highland Echo, which had its office in the heart of Vancouver's Little Italy.
He knew everybody, and he walked down Commercial Drive, and we had to have coffee, and sometimes you had to go into the back and have a little bit of grappa with somebody.
Jack Birch's bravery during the Second World War earned him the Distinguished Flying Cross. 3 years ago, he took his last flight, a trip in a glider and the tow plane on the same day.
He didn't look out the window very much, if at all. He just stared at the instruments. It was like he was sitting at a desk in an office from a long time ago that he kind of missed the view of.
Jack Birch, Distinguished Flying Cross recipient.
He's not one for big celebrations, but this one was special, surrounded by family and friends and so many others who just wanted to be there to honor a Canadian hero.
If I thought we were charging admission, I'd have doubled it.
Jay Durant, Global News.
Well, John said he felt he was lucky, but as the old saying goes, you've got to be good to be lucky. The success he had in aerial combat is just astounding. And can you imagine the complete lack of technology found in planes in the early 1940s? That makes what John accomplished even more amazing. We're going to stick with impressive senior citizens for our next story. Meet Papa Mo, who is a builder of birdhouses.
It takes steady hands, concentration, and time.
I need use for paper clips, eh?
To amass a collection like this.
A little bit picky on quality.
Mo LaBerge, known affectionately as Papa Mo, has spent much of the past 2 years at home, building little homes, 6 days a week, 6 hours a day.
I didn't work on Sundays and took the day off.
He's not doing this to benefit birds.
The purpose of this is for the kids, okay?
Kids at the Stollery Children's Hospital, a place dear to Mo's heart. He's had a pair of grandkids go through there, but it was a trip to the Cross Cancer Institute more than a decade ago for his own radiation therapy that left the deepest impression.
I got to see a family that their young child was going through. The little fellow was so sick that you couldn't tell whether he was 2 or 5 or 7 or whatever, okay? And that really bothered me, okay?
When the pandemic hit, Mo had more time at home than ever. Screen time wasn't for him.
I only check my emails, and I'm not very good with computers.
So he got to work with his hands. Word of his hobby spread. Neighbors pitched in with things like the artwork.
Golly, I sure can't do that.
Local companies began donating wood.
Who dropped it off? I don't know.
After being featured on Global News last year, his 150 or so birdhouses sold out in less than 24 hours, raising $8,000 for the Stollery.
That's not bad for an old guy, you know.
This year, he's running out of space.
There's a few in here, but I've got 300 now, so we can give her.
Once these are gone, there probably won't be any more. Mo, who's 81, says he's dealing with some things and can no longer dedicate the time and energy. He hopes his hobby turned passion inspires others, not to build birdhouses. He says doing anything that makes a difference in the lives of others would work. Dan Grummett, Global News.
What a great guy. I've said many times in this space that I wish I had the talent and woodworking skills necessary to do something like what Mo is able to do with his birdhouses. I think I just don't have that gene or something. But kudos to Mo to building so many birdhouses to support those sick kids. And maybe there is a Mo 2.0 out there who will heed the call and pick up where the original Mo leaves off. To Alberta now, where a puppet show suffered a last-minute cancellation by a puppeteer performer. So a young man from Ukraine stepped up to ensure that the show would go on.
Why don't you grab your puppet?
Veteran puppeteer Dean Barham
I'll be Little Red.
and his new protege, Max Arsenault,
The big bad wolf.
working on a classic Little Red Riding Hood.
We'll do the little dance scene.
Directing the production came with a huge unexpected obstacle for Dean when the puppeteer who was the wolf got sick just 5 days before the show.
And it was so last minute. It's total panic. She a little spin. Max said, I'll do it. And so I said, okay, Max, come on in.
I never did puppeteering before, but I thought, well, why not? Why not help somebody who helped me a lot?
Max is from Ukraine, outside the country studying when the Russians invaded.
I gotta go. I gotta go to my grandma's house.
Going home wasn't a good option for Max, and when he came to Calgary, Dean offered a place to stay.
It's really, really important to me that we help and give them a warm welcome in Canada.
It's still a stressful time for Max, always watching for updates on the war.
In my hometown, some rockets fell on the outskirts of the town. Hit some infrastructure, but and I think a few people died. It was just terrible.
Finding a bit of relief by tackling this challenge, paying off with the performance last weekend.
Everyone that I met here, they're very kind and very generous and very helpful, and I'm very thankful for them.
I gotta take her all this food.
I wish the war would be over soon and I can be back at home. Red Riding Hood and the grandma in the same house.
He just totally stepped up and he did an amazing job and we're really proud of him.
Gonna have a dinner today! The kids liked it. We were giving autographs to the children after the show and they just all wanted to pet a wolf. Gotta go.
Gil Tucker, Global News.
You could immediately tell that Max and Dean had some performance chemistry together, something they were able to develop fairly quickly. It's nice that Max was able to get some fleeting moments to not think about the war, which would be so all-consuming to Ukrainian citizens. Another young man is doing his part to raise money for British Columbia senior citizens in need, and he's doing it one swim stroke at a time, thousands of times over and over again.
This is the man.
Y'all ready to get wet?
This is not the first time Lucas Gentina has got up at the crack of dawn to take a dip. But this is no easy swim. It will take him an hour and a half shore to shore on the Saanich Inlet. It's the second crossing he's made so far this year, all to raise money to help seniors at the Saanich Peninsula Hospital.
Most of the residents that sometimes are bedbound, you know, or have a bit of an issue kind of leaving the room and having a bit of like a doom and gloom mentality.
Gentina works in long-term care at the hospital and does everything he can to bring a little joy to their lives.
He loves the residents and all the residents love him.
Dance with me.
He's always talking about his 100 grandmas and grandpas and all the things he does for them, and he shows me pictures of them.
They can't believe the lengths he's going to for them.
They're like, what? Why? And I just say, yeah, why not?
Lucas learned to swim at a young age thanks to his father, who competed at the national level in Chile. Bruno Gentina was a member of the country's modern pentathlon team.
I grew up seeing his medals, so I would just grow up, like, I would just be a little kid and look at it and be like, oh, like, I have to do something now. Like, you put the bar pretty high.
I think we're at the halfway point.
So far, through 2 swims, he's raised close to $20,000. Money that will buy better wheelchairs to encourage the residents to get out and explore a little.
Just anything that will help our elders and help our seniors and give them a comfortable way of life which they deserve.
The hardest part is over, at least for now, because Gentina plans to do many more charity swims.
Well done.
He even has a new nickname.
Barnacle Boy. Yeah, Barnacle Boy.
Jay Durant, Global News.
What a cool story. It's interesting that Lucas is combining the passion his father had for swimming with his own passion for helping others. His joie de vivre is infectious, and I'm sure it's much appreciated by all of the seniors he works with. From swimming to another athletic pursuit, it's the latest episode of my Training Ground series, where I profile people who excel in different careers and pursuits. This month, I visited Cirque du Soleil to learn about what it takes to become a professional acrobat and hand balancer.
My background is acrosport, so I was in acrosport for almost 10 years, and then slowly I moved to the cirque.
What was the catalyst, the one moment when you were training in acrobatics when you were younger, when you realized you wanted to make this your career full time?
Actually, first time when I saw Cirque du Soleil on TV, I think it was 1997, and it was my dream to get to that show. And in 2010, my dream came true.
So you've been doing this for over a decade, multiple shows per day, for months on end, lots of travel. What sacrifices have you had to make in your personal life, whether it being relationships, family time, social time?
Yeah, of course you have to sacrifice a lot because it takes so much time being in tour. So I'm sacrificing with the distance from my family. It's not for everybody, I would say.
Why is this worth it to you?
I just love my job, I love this routine, I love my type of the life, yeah.
People in any athletic or sports discipline, as they get older, it takes longer to recover. It takes longer to train. It's harder to stay at your top level. How are you able to stay at a top level as you get older?
I think if you're gonna take care of your body, if you're gonna eat healthy food and doing a good warm-up, of course, if you're not gonna take care of yourself, like I'm gonna skip warm-up today and then it's gonna become as a habit, so then you can feel like you're gonna get some injuries.
How long can you do this as a career? Into your 40s and your 50s? What is the shelf life for an acrobat hand balancer?
I think I will try to do another at least 10 years of my career as a hand balancer.
How do you battle nerves or anxiety before a show, before you're performing in front of hundreds, thousands of people?
Yeah, I think now I got used to, and I'm not nervous, it's more excitement. And I think because I'm from sport, then you present in all your country, and then I think it's more you nervous more.
Speaking of Andre's warm-up, which usually takes him 45 minutes to go through until he feels ready for his show routine, I asked him to put me through my paces to see how I stack up compared to a professional. Oh, does your body do that? Make that sound or no?
Sometimes, yes, especially in the morning.
Okay, well that makes me feel better.
You're not the only one.
Okay, now we're gonna, oh my God, okay. Oh. Do I have it?
Nice.
Okay.
Very good.
What happens if the muscle comes off the bone? Is that part normal? Oh. Would this get me a tryout if I could do this? Would this get me a tryout at least with you?
Actually, you are not too bad.
Then it was time to work our upper bodies. So I play a lot of tennis and golf. I feel like this might be a good routine to use to kind of help my elbows avoid tennis elbow and golfer's elbow.
Yes, for sure. And then again, a few more. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow.
Do you feel stretch?
Are we still stretching? And finally, I had to get inverted.
Stay.
Mike Arsenault, Global News. Since I turned 30, a few years ago now, I've really focused on my mobility and flexibility, and I think it's paying off. I definitely wasn't able to stretch like that in my 20s, but I'm very jealous of how easy Andre makes everything look. We had to edit out most of my grunting to get into some of those positions. But Andre puts in the work. I mean, 45 minutes of warm-up every day, plus, obviously, some amazing talent. Okay, that's it for the Cross Canada Spotlight. Be sure to watch Global News Weekend, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. on the Global TV app and Prime Video.